York Knights fans are obviously being hit by the coronavirus. People are on self-isolation, working from home, quarantine, and rugby league has stopped. But we want to give you some content, some access to the players. So we've got some written stuff going out over the next few weeks, but we're also trying to get some video interviews out with players as well. The first unsuspecting victim of that is Marcus Stock. So Marcus, how are you doing? How's the working from home and everything treating you at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going. I can't really complain. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there a lot worse than me. I'm technically a key worker, so I mean, I'm still going into work every day, but I'm sure, yeah, the inevitable is going to happen soon, and I'll be stuck in the flat.
What's it like being away from the club and being away from rugby?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think last week it was just a real surprise. Obviously, we played the game at Rochdale. Obviously, had a quality result, and then just said, "Oh, I'll see you on Tuesday" to everyone. And then I think over the next few days, it went from full-on training to nothing really quickly. So I think last week was a bit of a shock, and then this week you're kind of adjusting to it a bit more.
So you mentioned there about the game against Rochdale. It was a big, huge win for the club. What are your thoughts on the season so far?
Yeah, I mean, putting that aside, I think we've fallen quite a lot short of the goals and what we want to produce as a team. But I don't think we're way off. I mean, there's a lot of parts of the game that have gone our way. But I say in the Challenge Cup we've done well. That win away from home in London was obviously a massive win. The way we did it as well, I think, showed a lot of character. And then you just mentioned it as well. The game against Rochdale just showed what we can do in attack. So hopefully, when we get back to it, we can kind of put aside the losses and concentrate on the things that we're doing really well.
The game against Rochdale, how big was that for the team after a few nearly results? Like the game against London at Bootham Crescent, we were so close to pipping and winning in the second half. How big was it for the team to put a big score on Rochdale?
Yeah, definitely. I think the loss against London was almost like the best preparation for the Rochdale game, because those games can present themselves as a bit of a banana skin, really, where you, in a way, you can come away from the game feeling disappointed, even if you do win, maybe if they score too many points. But I think that just showed, like, that clinical performance was something that I think all the lads were really happy with. And unfortunately, we haven't had that much chance to review it as a team or go through it as a team. But I'm sure when we are back in, we can, yeah, like you say, we'll build off that, and that shows the confidence and stuff that we need to go forward.
Regards your performance in that game, you had a couple of standout moments, namely the break and then the pass to Marshy for one of his tries. How do you feel your game's developed since joining the Knights?
Yeah, I mean, massively. I think over, what is it now, about a year and a half, I think I've been with the Knights. I think just it stems from the kind of environment you're in. Firstly, I probably lost about 15 kilograms since I was the lad who come up from Hemel, and all the work you do in the gyms like paid dividends. It's been massive. And I think, but again, obviously the level of training and the knowledge you get from some of the players around you is what's helped massively. And I think there's elements to my game that I didn't even know existed or thought about before, that, and like the way you look at the game. And I think my rugby IQ compared to what it was has gone up a lot.
You mentioned it there. There's plenty of players to learn from. In the forwards, the Knights have had some really experienced top pros in the team. Both some who left last year, but also people like Tim Spears and Sam Scott at the club now. Is there one who you can identify as who's taught you the most?
Yeah, I think I'd struggle to identify one. Definitely is kind of the one who the most. Definitely last year, I think the way Horney played the game was something which I'd aspire to. The way I would like to play the game as like a loose forward style player. But then obviously there's loads of other things. Like I've got to mention obviously that Tim Spears making his 400th appearance. Like that's something that all, especially a middle in the game, would kind of aim for. And you know what it takes and the level that Spearsy puts in to get there. And that's something obviously that is something I'd like look up to and definitely see as where I want to be in the future.
Excellent. And the team will obviously have goals and targets for 2020. What Ford is a sort of coach who wants to keep those in-house. But for you as an individual, what are your aims and targets for this season, and would you share them with us?
Yeah, I mean, like you've just mentioned there, the kind of goals we set aside as a team. And I think part of those goals that you want to reach is the fact that you have to be kind of selfless with yourself, and you almost feel bad in a way setting the goals for yourself, because the goals that I want is what the would allow the team to produce their goals, if you know what I mean. So I think it would be difficult for me to say what my personal goals are when they are, and what they should be is the fact that I want the team to do as best as we can, and everything I do will be for what the team, to reach the team's goals.
You could tell just by speaking to you that you think a lot about the game and about your career and everything. So this one might be quite tricky for you, but you've been with the Knights now for just over a season. Is there one specific highlight you can pinpoint from your time in the Knights colours?
Yeah, you're right. This is going to be a difficult one to answer. I've been thinking about this. And I mean, there's a lot of occasions which have been good. I mean, if I was to be a young kid, saying the fact that I'd get the opportunity to go and play in France and play in Canada, to play a sport you love, is something amazing. And I never would have thought that would happen. So obviously, to be able to say that I've done that is amazing for myself. But I think in terms of wins, it's got to be the wins we produced, like doubling up against teams, like beating Lee twice. I was lucky enough to be involved in both of those games. And I just think the way those games happened and how we went into them as the underdogs is something that I appreciate, and I think the story is brilliant.
And we've obviously, we don't know when the game will be played, but been drawn against Cass in the Cup after the Rochdale game. How big is that for you as a player to know you can be testing yourself back against one of the best teams in the country?
Yeah, massive. I mean, you've touched on it there about how not really knowing when it's going to be, but also I think also where it's going to be with everything that's going on with the new stadium at the moment. But I know whether it's at Bootham or if it's at the new community stadium, that I just think the atmosphere there is going to be massive. And like you say, there's no need for any extra motivation in the fact you're playing a team in the top league. And I think as a team and also individually, that's what everyone aspires to be. And then obviously to beat those players will be massive.
And just one final one. If you were to be asked to give a tip to people who are currently stuck in their house, whether it be something to watch on telly or a book or something, what would you say to people to spend a bit of time doing?
Well, I don't know. I'd say something that I'm not really practicing what I'm preaching. I mean, I've said to myself in this period that I'm going to try and learn a new skill. So I think I've got the Duolingo app on my phone, so I've been trying to do a bit of French on Duolingo. So I think, yeah, a new skill or something like that would be ideal. But I can't really tell anyone that because obviously I'm failing massively at it.
Well, I'm sure you'll have time to crack on with that at some point over the next few weeks. So, Knights fans, hope you enjoyed this little interview with Stocky. If you've got any comments or any reactions to anything he said, leave them in the comments. Hopefully, we'll bring you another video interview with another Knights player soon. In the meantime, Marcus, thanks for your time. Stay safe and up the Knights.